Hi class, this is the Homer 10 video lesson. This is the last lesson of Unit 1. In this unit we're going to learn about the order of operations, which are the rules, the process in which we do mathematics. So we have to have agreed upon rules so that we all evaluate something in the same way. This is like here we say read a book from left to right. That's how we read English books. If you have ever heard, there are other cultures, other languages where you read a book in a different order. So we have certain order of operations that describe how we need to do things. What's important about this in the day and age of a calculator is those order of operations will also dictate how you use the calculator. There are some fancy calculators that'll let you type in the whole expression just as it appears on the page, but knowing what order to do pieces when you can't put the whole thing in is important. Be careful. We'll talk about this, but some people remember this. It's a mnemonic device, something to help you remember PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. But that can be a little bit misleading, and we'll talk about the issues with that when we get to it. But that's sometimes what you use, you might remember, and then you want to pay attention to the details I say about this. When you do take your test in this class, if there's one of those questions that say explain, you want to show your steps, show the order in which you're doing things. So the first step in any problem, the P, is parentheses. So this is like in the previous lesson when we said work from the inside out. So do what's inside the parentheses. And when we say parentheses, we might mean parentheses, we might mean brackets, absolute value bars, anything that kind of groups things together, even a square root. So if I say what's the square root of 3 plus 6, you should first do what's inside. The 3 plus 6 is 9, and then take the square root. Don't take the square root of things individually. So the order of operations in terms of parentheses is really about any kind of groups you want to work from the inside out. If you're not aware, brackets are just used, and so we don't have like parentheses inside of parentheses inside of parentheses. So a bracket is just like a different looking parenthesis. So here's this example on the page, 3 plus 4 in parentheses times 5. So the rules say you have to do the 3 plus 4 first, and you get 7. And then you'll do the multiplication. 7 times 5 is 35. Here are a couple more. I have to do what's inside the parentheses. 6 minus 1 is 5. 5 plus 4 is 9, and there's still a multiplication sign between them. 5 times 9 is 45. 308 divided by 7, not something I know off the top of my head. 7 goes into 34 times, which is 28. And another 4 times, so we get 44. Minus 1 minus 3 is negative 2. Hate the minus, so I'm going to rewrite that as a plus. And we get 46. So on the test, for those questions that say show your work, this is the kind of thing you should be typing, showing the various steps. The second step is the exponent. So after you've dealt with what's inside the parentheses, you want to deal with the exponents. So in this problem, there's 4 plus 3 squared. I don't do 4 plus 3. I have to do the 3 squared first. That's what it means. So 3 squared is 9, and now I do 4 plus 9, which is 13. Again, here I have to do the 5 square. And I have to do the 2 to the 4th. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. Before I do the multiplications, I have to do the exponents first. And then 25 times 16. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 2 is 12, 13, 14, 15. 1 times 5, and 1 times 2. So we get 400. In this case, there are parentheses and an exponent. So first I have to deal with the parentheses. Then I deal with the exponent. 8 times 8 is 64. Last thing I'm going to do is subtract. So 9 minus 4 is 5. So we get 225. The third step is all multiplication and division going from left to right. Here's where the problem with PEMDAS. I always have somebody ask in class, well, don't I do all the multiplication first? That isn't what the third step is. The third step is you move from the left to the right and you do all the multiplication and division as you come across it from left to right. So it's not that you do multiplication first, you do multiplication and division like at the same stage of the game. So in this one here, we're not doing the minus first, we're doing the multiplication. So this becomes 6 minus 3, which is 3. But just so you can see what I mean, if I have 6 divided by 2 times 5. The rules say you're going to do the division and the multiplication as you work from left to right. So I'm going to do 6 divided by 2, which is 3, and then 3 times 5 is 15. If I have 6 times 2 divided by 4, 6 times 2 is 12. And then I'm going to divide by 4 and I get 3. So it's not that you do the multiplication first, it's that you do division and multiplication at the same time working from left to right. Here's another example. What I'm going to do first is this multiplication that I see first on the left. So 35 plus 12 divided by 3 minus 2. The next thing that I'm going to do is this division that I see. 35 plus 4 minus 2. And now I'm going to work on this, which is 39, and I get 37. We have parentheses. Have to deal with those first. Then we have exponents. 6 cubed may not be something you know off the top of your head. 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 2 is 18, 19, 20, 21. So we get 216 divided by 8. Now the next thing we have to do is this division here. So 8 goes into 216 twice. 2 times 8 is 16. 8 goes into 56 7 times. So this is 1 plus 27, which is 28. The last step, and this is the same as step 3, we're going to do addition and subtraction at the same time as we move from left to right. So addition doesn't have some kind of priority over subtraction. We're going to do any addition and subtraction in step 4 as we move from left to right. So in this case, remember that multiplication has to come first. And then we're going to do 6 plus 6 and 12 minus 4. So if I have a question like 3 minus 4 plus 5, I'm going to do this subtraction first and then the addition. It's addition and subtraction as you move from left to right. Here we have parentheses, parentheses. So 6 plus 5 is 11. 1 minus 4 is negative 3. 2 negatives are really a positive. 11 plus 3 is 14. I have to do the division first. So this is 12 plus 11, and we get 23. If you have any questions about order of operations, please let me know. Once you finish homework 10, you should be ready to prepare for the exam, which you will also do online. So let me know if you have questions. Bye.